What's going on, guys? Welcome back to today's video. As promised, check this out. We no longer have a transmission sitting on the pallet. What we do have is this stupid piece of metal that was originally holding the transmission in place. This is that bracket that we had to drill like 50 spot welds out of, and including this one over here. So this one actually mounts onto this plate. I think you guys saw that second one that went over here, so that gives you guys an idea of what we were dealing with. So for today's video, we're actually gonna move over here in front of the car. There's our transmission. So I'm not sure how far we're gonna get on this today, guys, but the goal is to start getting some of these brackets mounted. I do have to do some drilling in the tunnel so we can get these bolted on. I'll show you guys in a second where these go. Aside from that, I do want to give you guys a slight recap. So in the last video, we were actually working on the spoiler. So here's the spoiler now. Check this out. Came out pretty good, eh? Oh yeah. So it came out super nice, a lot better than I expected. So all the gaps are filled now. What I do have to do is take some of this excess material off. Obviously a shit ton of sanding throughout the entire spoiler and even on the backside, which you guys can't see now, but I'll fill more of that once we get to it. I'm not gonna worry about it in today's video. So again, the focus is gonna be on the transmission. So the other thing too that I wanna show you guys is in the interior. So I actually went ahead and removed the transmission tunnel. And the reason for that was so I could remove the original shifter assembly. So yes, that's the floor. So I got the assembly removed. I think it's just gonna make it a lot easier when trying to get the transmission in. I'm still not sure how we're gonna, I guess, I don't know, lift this transmission up in place. I almost have a feeling that we're just gonna have to manhandle it. I really don't know. So I did lift up the car a little bit more just to give us some clearance. And I don't know how much that's gonna help, but it should make our lives easier, hopefully. All right, guys, so day 2 of this transmission video. So as you guys can see, we got Justin back on the camera again. We have a sketchy jack setup over here with some, I don't know, some aspen because the way it is. And it's about to split in half because we can hear it cracking, but that's all we got in the garage. And we're trying to lift the car up to squeeze the transmission underneath it. Only thing though is, so this is what we're trying to do, right? Well, this is what we're not trying to do. We're not trying to take all of this apart. We're not trying to take the engine out and to test fit the transmission because it's gonna be, I don't want to deal with that weight. I don't want to swing the engine back and forth until we get the transmission fitted. What I would like to do is I'd like to slide the transmission underneath the car. Once it's down there, it should clear the tunnel, right? And we should have enough clearance to hopefully throw the transmission on the jack. It'll be strapped somehow. I still don't know how yet, but it's in here. We'll jack it up as we need it. We'll work on the tunnel, do whatever we gotta do, lower it back down, rinse and repeat until it fits. So that way the engine will remain the way it is and it currently sits, and that's it. So it sounds a lot easier in my head, that's for sure, but it's kind of sketchy. Very. So, we've been slacking on this, guys. Just forget that this is even there for now. We won't work on that. I realize that we still have to do the lower radiator hose. Aside from that, we just gotta weld our intercooler piping, get that done, and then we should be all set. So at least from the engine side. After that, oh well, we still have minor things like the oil catch can and that kind of stuff, but that's whatever. That's no biggie. We gotta worry about the bigger things right now. So I guess it's coming out, guys. We're gonna take the engine out. I think we're probably we'll place it on the pallet, right? We'll place the engine on the pallet, hook it up to the transmission. That way we're not having to hook it up. Well, I mean, yeah, we can't do that anyway. So we'll hook it up there, and then we'll remove the radiator support brackets, radiator, condenser, all of that's gonna come out. We'll bring the car back down so we were not jacking it extremely high. This is the kind of stuff we're doing now, and it's getting sketchy. Like, we need to slow our asses down a little bit. Yeah, and this moves. So that's so the car doesn't roll back. Look how high the car is up front compared to the back. Man, so we gotta take a step back and think about safety.
Yeah, so, seriously.
To make this a little interesting, guys, we're actually, all right, take a look at this. We're not cheating, right? We haven't touched a single thing. So what we are gonna try to do, or better yet, how about you guys make a guess on how long you guys think we can get this disassembled and engine out on the floor on the pallet. So make your guesses now. We will start at, we can start right now, 6:25. So it is 6:25 right now. Ready?
Yep.
So let's go ahead and get started. Maybe we'll set the camera here, just let it record, and we just hose this thing out. Yep.
Let's go.
Yep. All right, ready? Go. Time, 6:47. That took exactly, we started at 25?
Yeah, it's like 20
minutes.
22 minutes.
Yeah, 22 minutes. Look, empty, gone.
Gone, everything.
Woo! Parts do look really cool over here. Everything's disassembled. So 2 turbos, headers, intake, and a bunch of beer cans. All right.
Sounds about right.
There it is, boys. Haven't seen this in a while, well, at least outside of the car.
We can take that oil pan off now too.
Yep, so our oil pan is gonna have to come off, and we knew this. We just wanted to get everything mocked up because if you guys remember, we had a little bit of contact in this area and that area that we massaged, and now we have to remove it to get our oil bungs or our oil returns for our turbos in place. Those will get welded and should be good to go. So what we are gonna do now, I think I'm probably gonna have to move my bagger, my mower out of the way. And the idea is that we're gonna move the engine and transmission onto this pallet, probably over here somewhere. We got some space, and we'll get them bolted together, lower the car, and that should make it a lot easier to slide the engine in and out. It'll be perfect. Right?
Easy test fit.
Good deal. We were not wanting to do this, and we got it done in 20 minutes.
Yeah, seriously, dude.
That's what happens when you put your mind to it, dude.
Teamwork makes the dream work, man.
Yeah, boy. Check. In we go. Yo guys, so check this out. This is where we're at right now. We actually attempted to do our first drop-in. Obviously didn't work because the engine didn't make it all the way in. But so there's a couple of things. One is we ran out of daylight. It's getting pretty late. We've got to work tomorrow. 2, we have to lift the car back up. Maybe we'll put it on jack stands again. And I think I'm going to have to remove the transmission mount that's already in place back there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, because I think the back of the transmission is actually hitting on that right now. So we need to get way more angle on it so it drops in, because the lower bell housing is, or the lower area of the bell housing is hitting on the sway bar. So it's hitting on the sway bar, the steering rack. So we definitely need a lot more angle so it comes in like this, and then we'll straighten it out as it gets back into the car. Then we'll brace it with our transmission bracket. So I think for now, though, as long as like the engine sits on these mounts like somewhat decently, you know, we can just let the transmission float there a little bit lower than the usual, So in that way we can mark the areas that we're either gonna have to massage or cut out. But aside from that, we don't really have an idea what exactly is gonna have to get massaged. We know this area right here somewhere is gonna have to get massaged. I think it's this spot. Aside from that, that's pretty much all we know. As you guys can see, got the engine back in its place, and unfortunately disconnected the transmission again. So we attempted to drive it in with the engine. We weren't getting the clearance that we needed on the side of the transmission tunnel on both sides. So no matter how much angle we put on it, there's gonna be a few things that are gonna need to be modified. One of them being, I think, is this tab right here. This side of the transmission, I think this might hit a little bit, so we'll have to accommodate for that in the transmission tunnel. So the next idea was, all right, well, if that didn't work, I think what we'll do is take off the bell housing. So we can work with the bell housing, get that fitted, bolted on the engine block, hopefully, and see what we have to massage, maybe see what we gotta grind on the bell housing. I don't wanna grind too much off the bell housing just because I don't wanna mess with its like integrity or any of I guess the strength or mounting points. As we were going to do that, we realized that I don't have the right sockets for those Torx bolts. So I think they're like star bit, and unfortunately the store is already closed, so that's gonna have to wait. Kind of sucks, but there's not much we can do at this point. So that's kind of where we're at, guys. It really sucks. We actually wanted to get somewhere with a transmission, get the bell housing on, but I promise that this weekend, I think, I'll probably go pick them up tomorrow.
For sure.
And
I can go pick them up if you really want to.
Yeah, that might be best. So that way they should have the right size. So I don't see why they wouldn't. So we're gonna pick up the right tools to get that bell housing off, get it bolted on the engine inside the car, and start making some clearance. So aside from that, that's pretty much gonna be it, guys. So again, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next week.